What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for 90 Day Fiancé Season 9, Episode 6. So, we start off with Bilal and Shanita. They are on their way to Juma, I think it is, which is Friday night prayer. He said it's very important to him. It's like his extended family, including his ex-wife. They go to the same place of worship, and she is noticing that he's a little OCD. She made a comment. He bought her like a latte, and she was like, is it okay if I drink it in here, because I know how you are? And he was like, she said, you know, you got an OCD problem. He was like, no, I don't. Which, yes, you do, and you know you do, because you said you know you do. But anyway, but then he said something about just make sure, you know, you pick your, you know, just pick your underwear up off the floor and your socks. And I'm like, girl, you leaving underwear around? Like, that's not an OCD thing. That's just a sloppy. Because, I mean, when you live by yourself, you can be sloppy. But when you're around other people, you got to be conscious of that kind of stuff. So, on that one, I'm like, well, I kind of see where he might have an issue with that. But I don't know if that was an example or if that's like a real thing that's happening. So, anyway, he tells her he doesn't want to be late. He said it's very important to him that they're on time because that's something. So, he's letting her know, listen, I'm a stickler for being on time for Juma. So they're on their way, and she's letting him know that she's a little nervous about meeting his ex-wife, for obvious reasons, you know. She said, you know, I've met your family, I've met your kids, but this is sort of like that last hurdle. And he said, well, you know, I did meet your family first. And she said, yeah, but that was different. Like, you were there visiting, and you sort of met my family because we met, whatever. But I'm, you know, this is me moving here to potentially be your wife. Like, that's a little more intimidating. And he was like, well... And he started off by saying, well, I can't tell you, you know, I can't tell you not to be nervous. But, I mean, I can tell you that she's a cool person, that she's respectful of me, and we have a good relationship, and I think it'll be cool. He did start off with that. But she kept talking and saying how nervous she was and stuff. So then he sort of kind of joked with her, and he was like, well, I will tell you this. When you do meet her, just make sure you get that booger out your nose, which... I don't find that kind of humor funny, but I know he was joking. Like, he was just trying to, I think, lighten the mood a little bit. And she was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And so then they start sort of bantering. And she actually hits him, like, she bops him upside the head. Now, here's my issue on this. He told her, don't do that again. And she was like, well, I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you. He was like, cool, but I don't play like that. Like, don't do that again. So she does it again. He was like, listen, I told you, like, don't put your hands on me because I will pull this car over and you will be Ubering because I don't play that. Like, I don't play that physical thing. I don't do it. So she continues to try to be physical with him because she's like, I'm just playing. But my thing is this, when somebody tells you that they're not cool with you playing like that, you just got to respect that. You don't get to decide what I'm cool with or not. If you put your hands on me, even though you were playing and I told you to stop, then the respectful thing for you to do is to stop. Because I asked you to stop. And I probably asked you nicely to stop. So, then, he actually does pull the car over. Now, he don't make her get out, but he scares the hell out of her. Because she was like, what? Like, he's serious? What? He scared the hell out of her. So, then they left there. They finally got, you know, they started leaving again. They go to pick his kids up. Baby, he don't say nothing to her. He stops. He gets out the car. He don't open the car for her. He don't say nothing. He don't say, I'm going to get my kids. But then she realizes, oh, he's walking over to those school buses. Oh, okay. Because she was like, damn, he was going to get out the car and not say nothing to me. Now, I will respect him. When he said he picked up the kids, he said, listen, the kids don't need to know what's going on. The kids don't need to know that we beefing, we mad at each other, that there's a problem. And so he tried to, I mean, you could tell that there was tension. But he was talking to his kids and all of that. And when they got to the place of worship, he opened her door like he normally does. He went inside and she ended up sitting with his mom. But when the service was over, instead of him like going around and introducing her to people and stuff like that, he basically just left her there. He left her hanging. And so she was sitting there like, okay, well, damn, like, you know, why would he do that to me? Why would he leave me like that? Like, why would he do that? And I'm like, because he's mad. Because you disrespected him. And let's take it, I mean, I could go left with this, but let's take it left for a second. Going left, like, this is a black man in a car asking you not to put your hands on him. God forbid he had a temper. God forbid you turn that into something. You get the benefit of the doubt. He does not. Right? And so he handled it the best way that he could have handled it. And he asked you not to do it again. Like he asked you not to do it. And you kept doing it because you didn't think it was a problem. You didn't see what the big deal was. It doesn't matter. He's asking you not to put your hands on him. And he has every right to say, please don't put your hands on me. He has every right to say that. And you don't get to tell him that he doesn't have a right to say that. You don't get to tell him that he's wrong for that. So they leave there and he drops her off to go take his kids home. So she does some yoga because she said yoga calms her. It calms her down. And when he got back, they were supposed to be having date night. So she all dressed up for date night. And he was like, oh, you think we about to go out for date night? Oh, that's what you think is about to happen. Okay, we need to talk first. And so he's telling her, listen, you were not respectful of my feelings. You were not respectful. I asked you not to do it. I asked you to stop. And you were not respectful of that. And so she was like, but I was just playing. Like, me and my cousins play like that. Like, I was just playing. And he was like, that's not the point, though. Like, I asked you not to do it. He was like, she said, but did I look like I was mad? It doesn't matter. Like, you could have been laughing when you did it. He asked you not to do it, and he told you he don't play like that. And again, y'all are in the process of getting to know each other, and that is where you need to be respectful and say to him, no. You say no. Be respectful, and you do what he is asking you to do. I don't think that was a big thing. Like, I've been giving Bilal heat when I feel like he deserves the heat. But in this one, I'm with him. I'm with him 100%. And the fact that you kept trying to minimize his feelings, like even when you apologized, it was one of those, I apologize, but. No, there's no buts. You apologize, period. Period. You apologize, period. End. Full stop. Full stop. So she also made mention that he has not given her a definitive answer about whether he wants children or not. And she needs a definitive answer because she is not about to marry a man that doesn't want kids. So I feel like this ain't going to work because he don't want no kids. I mean, he trying to sidestep it and talk sweet about it, but he don't want no kids. Like, that's it. He doesn't want children. He's good with the 2 he has. He don't want no more. Which I really think is unfair, Bilal. I think that's unfair to her because it seems like she's been clear that she wants kids. I don't feel like she just changed her story now that she's here in America. I feel like she's probably said all along that she wants children. So I think that's kind of messed up that you brought her over here knowing that you don't want what she wants. I just think that's selfish. But anyway, so then we have Mani and Jabari. Listen, this is another situation that is ridiculous to me. So she is sitting there minding her business. Okay, now listen, I ain't crazy about her either. Marty, whatever her name is. I ain't crazy about her either. But she was sitting in that room planning her makeup, minding her good business. And Jabari's mom gonna come down there and want to talk to her about what her plans are, what it is that she wants to do, and making, figuring out the future. And then she gonna say something, well, you want me to show you how to use the washer and dryer? So she was like, all right, I guess I could do some laundry. So they go down there, and she was like, basically, the wash and dry is not that complicated. I could have figured it out, okay? Because I guess over in the Ukraine, or no, Serbia, wherever she from, child, I think it was Serbia, their washing machines have like an exact temperature. You know how we just have hot, cold, warm? Theirs has a specific temperature. So she was like, yeah, I could have figured this out. I didn't really need her help. So while she's taking out her laundry, the mama is pulling her laundry out, talking about something. What is this? Is this a scarf? You knew what it was. You knew it wasn't no damn scarf. You knew that was that girl's shirt. So she was like, no, that's a top. And so then the mama wants to start, because see, the mama already wanted to have a conversation with her about how she dresses, because she had already told Jabari before that girl even got to America that she felt some kind of way about how she dresses, and it's real provocative, and she really didn't approve of it. So she already knew what she was saying before she said it. She already knew she felt some kind of way. But she used this whole laundry thing as a way to say something, as an excuse, a way for her to say what she wanted to say. So she gonna tell this woman that she really, that, you know, basically she need to watch how she dresses, and the way that she's dressing is inappropriate. And I mean, if that's how you want to dress when y'all go outside, that's fine. But when y'all are in this house, I don't want you dressing like that around my husband, basically. I was like, oh, so that's what it is. You worried about this little young tenderoni walking around your husband with her booty hanging out and her boobs hanging out. That's what it is. Okay. Because I was trying to figure out, like, why is the way she dressed bothering you? If it don't bother your son, why is it your business? Oh, but you just don't want her walking around your house like that. Okay, that's what it is. But you was wrong, Mama. You was out of line. I'm sorry. Because my thing was, if she's worn it, she clearly has worn it if it was in her dirty clothes. So clearly, she's not dressing crazy around the house. Anyway. So, I guess the next day or whatever, Jabari is sitting on the porch. He pissed off, right? And he confronts his mom about that. He was like, why are you going through her laundry, telling her what she can and can't wear, and you making her uncomfortable, and she already don't want to be here. You making it harder for me because I'm trying to convince her that we need to stay here a little while so we can save up some money. But the more uncomfortable you make her, the more she pressures me to move, and I'm not ready to do that. And his mama was like, listen, this sounds like it's deeper than the laundry. What's going on? And that's when he was explaining to her, like, that she's really pressuring him to move, but it's because she doesn't feel comfortable. And so he's just, you know, he was like, I just need to know, was she exaggerating, or did you really, like, come at her like that? No, she wasn't exaggerating. Your mama really came at her like that, child. But he's stressed out because, again, at the end of the day, he can't, it boils down to the fact that he can't afford to move. Because not only can he not afford to move, but she can't work. So whatever, you want him to move across the country, you can't work, which means that he would have to be carrying everything. And that's just a lot on him. And I feel like he didn't lie to you. Like, we heard him talking to you before you got there. He's been very honest and upfront with you that this is what y'all need to do. Anyway. So then we have Ariel and Bimmy. Now, they sitting there trying to figure out what they're going to do to pay these bills, because her mama done dropped the fact that she done rented this 2-bedroom apartment and done dropped it in her lap, that they got to figure out how they going to make money. Now, listen, I get it that Bimmy has to get acclimated and all this good stuff, but at the end of the day, girl, you better go find you a job. You need to get on Indeed. You need to get on LinkedIn. You need to get on some sort of website, some sort of database, something. Like, I don't know what your skill set is, but girl, you know he can't work. Why are you playing around, and why are y'all sightseeing and doing all this other stuff? Well, you need to be finding a job, because your mama done already told you, I can't carry this load for long, okay? Now, Bimmy told you that he want to be an MMA fighter. And you said that MMA fighters don't make no whole lot of money. But let's be clear, this ain't no new dream of his. He been wanting to be an MMA fighter. This ain't nothing new. You act like this is something new. It's not. So him telling you that he had dreams of coming to America to be an MMA fighter, and you trying to make it seem like that's a crazy thing that he wants to be, and that's, you know, like, oh my goodness, why would you want to be an MMA fighter? That they don't make, she said, I looked it up, and MMA fighters don't make a lot of money. You knew that when your ass was living in Ethiopia with him. That shit didn't change. So then she ends up driving him around, you know, so they could see all the rich houses in the neighborhood. I guess that was her way of trying to motivate him. And he was like, I'm going to get you in one of these houses. Don't you worry, baby. We're going to be in one of these houses. Yep. We're going to live in one of these houses. Oh, yes. And I'm thinking, poor thing. So they end up going out later on. And she, again, is trying to talk to him about taking it seriously and coming up with a plan and figuring out what they're going to do, you know, financially. And I'm just sitting here like, girl, I don't know what you thought you was going to get. I don't know what you thought he was going to say, do, etc., etc. But, girl. Anyway, Patrick and Thias, they on their way back to the house after he done picked her up from the hotel. And, of course, she is like, oh, my gosh, this is so great. This is a nice car. This is a nice neighborhood. This is a nice house. She's all excited. They get there, and, of course, the brother is there that she can't stand. You know, and, of course, they introduce themselves and all that good stuff. They end up going in the bedroom and, doing what they do. Get up the next morning and she already complaining because she was like, see, if the brother wasn't living here, I wouldn't have to worry about putting no clothes on. Like, I had to put my clothes on because there's other people living here. But if we lived here by ourselves, I wouldn't have to worry about putting no clothes on. And I was like, I mean, you got a little bit of a point there, okay, about putting on your clothes. So they go out there and the brother is cooking breakfast. I mean, the brother is playing a video game and drinking a beer. And she was like, who is drinking a beer at 10 o'clock in the morning? And the brother was like, it's my day off. Like, this is what I do on my day off. And she was like, only a maniac would drink a beer at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, of course, the brother's like, hold up, player. I'm not no maniac. Don't be talking to me crazy. And so they started getting into an argument. And the brother was like, listen, I live here too. You ain't going to talk to me crazy. And she's talking to him in Brazilian, Portuguese. What is Brazilian speak? Portuguese. And she's basically telling him, look, this is crazy. This isn't working. And the two of them, it was a disaster. Like, it was absolutely disastrous. But I feel like the brother is being extra because the brother knows that she doesn't like him. And of course, she's just sticking to what she said all along, that she don't want the brother to live there. So he ends up taking them out for them to go play putt-putt because he was like, listen, I love my brother. I love her. And we got to figure out a way for us to get together. We got to figure out a way for us to all get along. And they went out to play putt-putt, child. It ain't going to work. And she was like, listen, I don't have to be here. I don't have to stay here. I can leave. I can go back to Brazil. And at the end of the day, it ain't going to work because she ain't going to give in. And the brother, I feel like the brother is going to go out of his way to be a bigger asshole because he going to play the brother card. Like, the two of them are going to be pulling at Patrick. And Patrick is going to be stuck in the middle. And Patrick, you're going to probably just end up having to get your brother an apartment somewhere in the city. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see how this works out, child. Child, so then we have Evie and Muhammad. Now, I think I forgot to tell y'all that Muhammad was already feeling some kind of way because he feel like Evie using him as a babysitter. And she kind of is because she said, well, he knew before he got here that I've been having problems with getting consistent child care. And now that he's here and he can't work, I mean, I don't see the problem with him picking the baby up. Well, not the baby. Picking my son up from school and watching him on the days that I can't pick him up and the days that I can't come home. Because after all, I am working to maintain this household for all of us up in here. And he said, I ain't come over here to be nobody's babysitter. Like, I like her son and all. I mean, he a good kid and I don't have no problem with that. But I ain't come over here to be no babysitter. And I mean, for 90 days, you all. Anyway, and Muhammad give me the impression that he ain't going to work no way. So, you might as well because you ain't going to go work. So she calls a plumber to come over to install the bidet. Now let's be clear. You couldn't do it, bruh. She didn't have time to do it before you got there and you didn't know how to do it. You tried to put it together. You tried to get it set up. Well, he comes in there and he sees, now the doorbell rings. She's not hiding anything. And he comes in there and he sees that there's a man in the bathroom. And he was like, whoa, who is this? What's this? And she was like, oh, it's a surprise for you. I called him over to hook up the bidet. And he was like, wait a minute. Like, you can't have no man up in this house with you. Like, that's against the Muslim, that's against the Muslim faith. And she was like, but you're here. He said, you should have called me. You should have called me. You shouldn't be in here by yourself with him in the bathroom. Like, this is inappropriate. And she was like, but you're home. Like, it's not like I had a dude up in the house and you're not here. You're home. Like, didn't you hear the doorbell ring? Like, it's not a secret. And he was like, this isn't right. No, this isn't right. You can't have him up in the house with you. This isn't right. And so she was like, but I'm doing something for you. Like, this is for your damn bidet. And he was like, no. He said, just know that this isn't appropriate. And and she said, well, am I never allowed to be around another man? Like, I mean, I can't ever be around another man? Like, I don't understand. And he was like, she said, I mean, I need a rule book to write down all these rules. He was like, yeah, you might want to keep a list. I mean, that's fine. You may want to do that. And she was like, she was like, this is crazy. Like, it's a plumber hooking up the bidet. And he was like, like, that's not, no, that's not cool. And she said, well, I don't know all the rules. He said, well, now you know this one. Like, he's so calm about it, but he's so funny at the same time. He's like, well, now you know this one. And I was like, oh, buddy. So, child, then we have Garamo and Kara. So they going out with the friends, and she keeps testing him, I guess. So she wants to see how he is around her friends. And so they seem like they having a good time or whatever. So her friends say, well, what's the one thing about Kara that bothers you the most? And he was like, well, I think it's the drinking. She likes to party more than I do. She drinks a lot. And it bothers me that, we're at parties and I'll be ready to leave before she's ready to leave. Or she gets, drunk. Like, she don't just have a couple of drinks. She gets drunk. And all of her friends were like, well, yeah, that is how she is. Yep, that's Kara. Yep. And she even said, well, who wants to leave the party first? Like, who wants to be the first person to leave a party? Like, I don't want to be the first person to leave a party. And I was like, oh, here we go. But again, I'm like, y'all lived together in what were they, in the Dominican or something? Y'all lived together. So, like, come on. Like, you know who this woman is, and you agreed to come here. But again, he was only answering the question. He didn't say it was a deal breaker. He didn't say it makes me want to break up with her. He did say he was just answering the question. So, anyway, we'll see where it ends up. So, that was the episode. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.